What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another brand new installment of Renegades Reviews, exclusively here as always on the Casa D18 Studios channel. I, of course, am your host, the Renegade JJ Williams, and today we're going to take a look at the final film this week to actually feature the legitimate Beatles, sort of, 1968's Yellow Submarine, starring the voice talents of John Clive, Jeffrey Hughes, Peter Batten, Paul Angelis, Dick Emery, and Lance Percival, and featuring a brief cameo at the end of the movie by John, Paul, George, and Ringo, the Beatles themselves. What's going on, everybody? Thank you for joining me once again for another brand new installment of Renegades Reviews. And like I said during the introduction, today's feature is the final feature this week to actually feature the legitimate Beatles. And our film opens in the cheerful land of Pepperland, a music-loving paradise under the sea, which is home to Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band. The titular Yellow Submarine rests on an Aztec-like pyramid on a hill, and at the edge of the land is a range of high blue mountains. The land falls under a surprise attack from the music-hating blue meanies who live beyond the mountains. The attack begins with the firing of a music-proof glass globe, which imprisons the band. The blue meanies then fire projectiles and drop apples onto the Pepperland citizens, which render them immobile as statues and drain the entire countryside of its color. In the final moments before his capture, Pepperland's elderly Lord Mayor sends young Fred to take the Yellow Submarine and go get help. Fred ends up traveling to Liverpool, where he ends up following a depressed Ringo to the pier, a house-like building on top of a hill, and persuades him to return to Pepperland with him. Ringo collects his mates, John, George, and Paul, and the four decide to help old Fred, and they journey with him back to Pepperland. As they operate the submarine, they pass through several different regions on their way to Pepperland, including the Sea of Time, where time flows both forwards and backwards, the Sea of Science, and the Sea of Monsters, where Ringo ends up getting accidentally ejected from the submarine and needs to be rescued from the assorted monsters. When they reach the Sea of Nothing, they meet Jeremy, Hillary, Boob, Foot, or PhD, a short and studious creature. As they prepare to leave the Sea of Nothing, Ringo feels sorry for Jeremy, so he invites him to join the group on their journey. When they arrive at the foothills of the headlands, the Beatles and Jeremy are separated from the submarine as well as old Fred, and they eventually find themselves in the Sea of Holes. Jeremy ends up being kidnapped by a blue meanie, and the group finds their way to Pepperland, where they reunite with old Fred and the Lord Mayor. Everyone looks upon the miserable gray landscape, and the Beatles find a storage facility and disguise themselves as Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band and steal some of their instruments. The group is able to rally the land back to life and leads them to rebellion, and the Chief Blue Meanie retaliates by sending out the dreadful Flying Glove, which John battles and defeats with a song. Pepperland is restored to color as its flowers rebloom and its residents are revived. The real Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band are released from their Glass Globe prison and join the Beatles in combating the meanies and their multi-headed dog. Jeremy performs some transformation magic on the chief blue meanie, which causes the meanie to bloom roses and concede defeat. John then extends an offer of friendship to the meanies, and the chief blue meanie has a change of heart and accepts. The main portion of our story concludes with the Beatles, Jeremy, the citizens of Pepperland, and the Blue Meanies all celebrating together. We then fade into a live action sequence as the Beatles appear and show off souvenirs from the film. George has the submarine's motor. Paul has a little love. Ringo has half a hole in his pocket, as he gave the other half to Jeremy, while John looks through a telescope and is alarmed by newer and bluer meanies that were sighted within the vicinity of the theater. The film ends as the Beatles go out singing one last song. And some of the songs included in the film, other than, of course, the title song, Yellow Submarine, are Eleanor Rigby, Nowhere Man, Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds, All You Need Is Love, All Together Now, as well as others. Yellow Submarine is also very much a trip, but nowhere near as bad as Magical Mystery Tour was. You know, Yellow Submarine is a great jump-off point to introduce new generations to the music of the Beatles. I have introduced many a kid, some that are now grown-ups, to the Beatles through this film. Because think about it. When you're a kid and you're 3, 4, 5, 6 years old, chances are you're into Disney movies, maybe Pixar, Toy Story. If you're a little bit of an oddball, you could be into DreamWorks or some of the older animation like All Dogs Go to Heaven or An American Tail, whatever it may be. So here you have a late 60s cartoon, still during the psychedelic period, so very bright and colorful, aside from when Pepperland turns kind of grayish. You've got outstanding music. Most Disney animated films are, in fact, musicals. This is the same. So for a young kid, if you're used to watching those type of films, slide this in, and now you've exposed a brand new generation to the classic music of the Beatles. It's a win-win. Again, arguably the greatest rock and roll band of all times. And I've introduced my daughter to the Beatles through this. I introduced Jeff's son Dylan to the Beatles through this. And I've introduced other kids to the Beatles through this. And with the exception, I think, of Dylan, all of them still appreciate this film and the Beatles. They may not be the biggest Beatle fans like me and my daughter are, but they still at least appreciate the film and the music. And this film is such a great way to do it. You know, Nowhere Man for years was one of my favorite Beatles songs. It still is one of my favorite, but it was my favorite for years because of this film, because of Jeremy, because of the sequence that it's used in. It's just such a great way to use it. John battling the glove and defeating it by singing All You Need Is Love. Such a great knockout punch, if you will, of a song in order to fight these evil entities that are attacking and trying to drain the life out of the town, you defeat them with love, because love is all you need. Can you get a much better message going than that? I don't think so. What do you guys think that have seen Yellow Submarine? Let me know. When it comes to my rating for this one, I am going to be fair. I'm going to give it 4 out of 5 stars. Granted, I've introduced numerous generations to the music of the band through this film, but it's not my favorite Beatle film. We'll get to those when we get to Musicals Month, the beginning of next year. 4 out of 5 stars for me when it comes to Yellow Submarine, though. Again, what do you guys think? Those of you that are watching, if you're joining me during the premiere, let me know. Leave your thoughts and comments over here. If you're watching on demand later in the day, leave your thoughts and comments down here. Whatever you do, though, when you get out there on the social media, let's try to get those hashtags trending. Hashtag Casa D18 Studios, hashtag Renegades Reviews, hashtag Renegade Returns, and of course, the ever popular hashtag Shenanigans. We interrupt this episode of Renegades Reviews for an important announcement about
merchandising.
Merchandising? What's that?
Merchandising. Come, I'll show you. Merchandising, where the real money's made.
Make sure you go over to teespring.com/stores/Jeff Meacham Network for all the t-shirts you see here from the West Coast professor, Jeff Meacham himself. You can get shirts for the Jeff Meacham Network, Talk Wrestling, as well as the red and gold Meachamania shirts. And while you're there, don't forget to get your shirts of the Casa D18 Studios Brotherhood, the Dads on Wrestling shirt, the Renegade J.J. Williams, Statboy Sports Bar, and the hashtag Statboy Approved shirt. Make sure you go over to teespring.com/stores/Jeff Meacham Network and score your shirts today. Make sure you guys go out there. Do what that commercial just told you. Go to teespring.com/stores/Jeff Meacham Network for all the official merchandise of the Casa D18 Studios Brotherhood. Get yourself your Renegade J.J. Williams shirt, Dad's Not Always on Wrestling, Statboy Sports Bar, hashtag Statboy Approved, hashtag Shenanigans. Get you your official merchandise of the Jeff Meacham Network. 3 different designs of the Jeff Meacham Network logo for you to choose from, along with Talk Wrestling, Meachamania, so much more. Still summertime. Still got time for those barbecues, pool parties, beach bonfires. Go to the Teespring store. Get yourself a tank top. You can choose from the Renegade J.J. Williams or Meachamania. Either one is the perfect accessory for those hot summer days and those even hotter summer nights. Get out there, show your love and support. While you're showing your love and support, do what that ticker tells you to do. If you enjoy my content, my daily videos, go to that PayPal, send me a small donation. Keep in mind, I'm still not monetized, trying to get those viewership hours up. Until then, I can't make any money off these videos. Only way I'll make any money is if you guys out there feel generous, go to that PayPal and send me a donation. Don't want to send money? That's okay. I understand. It's still my birthday month. Matter of fact, my birthday is Sunday. So if you would like to send me a gift, then go to the Linktree link on the bottom of the screen here and click on the link for my Amazon movie wish list. Constantly updating it, adding new movies, select a movie, and send it to me. When it arrives, I'll open it up on Renegade Recap, give you guys a shout out. And then likewise, when I factor it into my theme month, and I can sit down, watch it, review it, and give you guys another shout out. And I'll show you guys the same amount of love and support that you guys show to me. Make sure you guys tune in tomorrow, right back here on the Casa D18 Studios channel for another brand new installment of Renegades Reviews, when we say goodbye to Beatles Week and we take a look at what a world would look like if the Beatles had never formed. And we take a look at 2019's Yesterday, starring Himesh Patel, Lily James, Joel Fry, Ed Sheeran, Kate McKinnon, Justin Edwards, Sarah Lancashire, James Corden, and Robert Carlyle. You're not going to want to miss out tomorrow, right back here on Renegades Reviews, exclusively as always on the Casa D18 Studios channel, when we take a look at a world where the Beatles never existed. To all my loyal fans and viewers out there tuning in, joining me for the premiere, leaving your thoughts and comments over here, thank you very much. I greatly appreciate each and every one of you. Likewise, all my loyal fans and viewers tuning in a little bit later in the day, leaving your thoughts and comments down here. Thank you very much. I appreciate each and every one of you. I appreciate all my loyal fans and viewers that tune in on a regular basis. Join me, enjoy the show, and support me. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you guys next time.